G'day everyone. One of the really great things about working with a local company like C.R.Kennedy is the fact that I can review the latest gear for you guys. And I really appreciate that company giving me the ability to do that. So I wanted to thank Aaron from Sydney and Mark from Melbourne. Today I'm going to be looking at a brand new tripod that is available for pre-order, and it's pretty amazing, and we'll look at that in a minute. But I first wanted to explain that I'm not being paid by C.R.Kennedy at all. They're really just lending me the gear to review, and in fact they're telling me to be honest with the reviews as well, which is fantastic, and that just proves how honest this company is, and that's an amazing thing. So I'm really looking forward to the future we have together, and obviously some of the exciting things that we'll be producing in the future as well. I've also just been given the Sigma 135mm as well, and I'm going to be able to review on its own and also compare it against the Sony 135, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I thought it's just the right thing to do. I'm just going to show C.R.Kennedy's page, just so if you are local that you can support them. So if you are from Australia, please do support them. They're in every state in Australia and also in New Zealand as well. They've got a store there as well. So I'll just put that on, and it takes about 30 seconds. So watch that, please, and then obviously we'll then start the review of the tripod.
I would say we were good together. I would say we had fun, but our trails will never run forever. Something else is on your
One of the
mind.
really great things about having a local company working with me is that I can get to review things like this tripod. Now this is a Vanguard. I'm just reading what the model number is here yet because it's not released yet. So this is the Veo 2 Pro, and it's the 233 CPV. So that's the model that this tripod is, and apparently it's on pre-order, so it will be shipping fairly soon. But being a hybrid photographer and videographer, what I mean by that is that I call it fusion, and what I do is I shoot video and stills at the same time. So I'm always looking for tripods that will fit that criteria and give me the ability to do simple things like panning and things like that, as well as doing my still shots. I very rarely use the tripods for still shots though, but occasionally I will if I'm doing slow shutter speed, things like that, and I want to get light trails and obviously in receptions and things like that, but I do use it often with the video side of it. So having one that I can take along to do stills and also video is a great advantage. But let's have a look at what this tripod does. Let's have a look at why it is so interesting, and we'll continue from there. This tripod is incredibly light. Like when I first picked it up, I actually said to Kerry, my wife, that it is ridiculously light, and it really is. So that will make this great for travel. It's carbon fiber, which is really nice, and it also has on the legs these little parts that you clip in, and then you can drag the legs out to what angle you like. So that's really handy as well. So you can shoot quite low when you're dealing with this, and I'll show you too how you can take this off at the end and then shoot really low. So that's using that aspect of it, and then you can obviously just push them down again to get them. So there is multiple positions where you can have this tripod set up. Now the feet themselves, or the legs, are you just turn the little holder here, and then you can just tighten it off. So that works very, very nicely. They do have rubber feet, and apparently the rubber feet you can also put onto the rubber feet a different attachment for holding it on unstable ground and things like that. It's more of a pin type attachment, I think. But this just has the rubber feet at standard. Let me just open this up so you'll see the height that you get. Now it's not ridiculously high, but it's not really designed for that. Like I said, this is more designed for travel, which is a perfect height for what I'd be using, and also for things like weddings as well. So it's fantastic for that in that regard. It's got a couple of things on here that if I wanted to do that, and I'll put the camera on and I'll just show you how that works. One other thing that I really like about this too is it does have an Arca Swiss mounting plate. Now that is what I use for all of my gear, so that really fits in directly with how I work with my workflow. And all you do is screw it on, and then obviously just put it into the grip, and then tighten the grip on the left hand side here, and then the camera's locked in. And like I said, I use that for all of my other things that I'm using, so this is a great feature. Now a couple of things, when you do mount it, you have got this extension that you can just turn here and then obviously lift that up if you want to get much more height on this, which is really good. There's also obviously this attachment down here that you can hang something off. So if you have got a weight bag or something like that and you want to make sure that this won't blow over or move in the wind, you can pull that down with some weight and then it won't move at all, so that's really good. This has another feature that I'll show you a little bit later on. Some of the great things that this will do, so if you want to go to use this for portrait, you can tilt that straight back down and get a portrait shot like that as well. This will also pan up and down this way, or move up and down this way, so you can, if you're shooting the stars or whatever you wanted to do, you can move this around as well. And it has that great feature of being able to do a beautiful pan as well. And there is a little bit of sort of hold there, so you can smoothly move this, which is a really nice feature. In fact, I'll record that now just so that you can see. Now everything can be locked, so you can lock these all off so that it won't move at all, which is fantastic. But there is another attachment here that if everything's locked and it won't pan, if you quickly press that down, it will move basically 90 degrees. So that's another good feature too. So it has got that feature as well. There is a bubble on the back, so you can get that, check your level as well, which is another great feature there too. So they're all fantastic. So there is a really good feature here that there's a rubber ring that goes around this center column here. So if it did drop, it's not going to damage your gear, or at least it may protect it, because if it was a hard stop, you might shock your camera, or it could even damage some of the IBIS features or something like that. So it does have that rubber section in there, which is another nice feature as well. Now another thing that this camera or this tripod lets you do is to invert it if you wanted to shoot the opposite way. So what you do is you just screw this little attachment on the weight holder down the bottom, and then this little device at the bottom just pulls out, so you do that. That gives you the ability then to lift this completely out. You can then go from underneath and tighten the actual grip there, and then you could shoot from it down the opposite way, which could be interesting for macro things like that. So that's one great feature there as well. Now one really nice feature though when you're doing this, as that's taken out, you can use this to shoot very, very low to the ground. So all I'm going to use is that bottom section there, and I just screw that onto the camera. So that will sit inside that there, and then obviously if you wanted to make this very, very close to the ground, I'll just move this up so you can see how nice and tight I can make this. So you can see now how low down to the ground you can get with this. That's a fantastic system, I love that. And I'd love to try this with the slider, because I often do revealing shots and things like that when I'm doing weddings with a little slider that I've got, and this would work perfectly because I can never get down low enough with the slider. So that's a fantastic feature, and that comes from just using that part of that center shaft. Okay, so in summary, I think this is going to be an amazing travel tripod, as well as for the upcoming fusion or hybrid type of photographer that wants to do video and stills at the same time. And I think that's where the big marketplace for this is. It's incredibly light, I mean really light. The other advantage too with something like having carbon fibre is it doesn't get so cold if you're dealing with colder climates as well. So that's another thing to take into consideration. You know, you can do your portrait shots as well down here, so that's also great. You have got the ability as well to move back and forwards if you want to do star shots and things like that too. It's got the anti-shock rubber around the base part here with the rubber feet, and it's also got a great way of opening and closing the legs, with also having the ability to go quite high if you do need to do it. So overall, I think this is a fantastic tripod. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. You can pre-order this now at C.R.Kennedy if you want to get it there. I'm not sure where it's available apart from that, but the model number is obviously listed on this as well, so you could search for it as well. So apart from that, guys, I'll see you all soon in the next video. Bye for now.